Okay, we have got to talk about the Euphoria finale because fans are absolutely convinced that Zendaya is not happy with the way Rue's story ended. And honestly, the more people look into it, the more questions they seem to have. From her complete silence after the finale to comments from her mom and old interviews that paint a very different picture of what she wanted for Rue, viewers think there may have been a lot more going on behind the scenes than anyone realized. There were even rumors long before filming started that creative differences were causing delays for the final season. So, did something change? Did Zendaya disagree with the ending? And why are fans saying the show's entire message took a completely different direction? Let's get into all of it, because this story is a lot deeper than you might think. The conversation around the finale actually started before the season even premiered. Fans noticed that the cast didn't seem nearly as excited to promote the new episodes compared to previous years. After such a long wait between seasons, people expected a huge promotional push, but instead, many felt like the cast was simply ready to move on. At the same time, rumors began circulating online that the delays weren't just because of scheduling conflicts or Sam Levinson's work on The Idol. Some people believed there were disagreements over where the story should ultimately go, especially for Rue's character. Then, the finale aired, and fans were left completely shocked. Rue's story came to a tragic end, something many viewers never expected after years of watching her fight addiction and struggle to rebuild her life. The decision immediately divided the audience, with some praising it for being realistic, while others argued it completely abandoned the hopeful message that had been built over the first two seasons. Things became even more controversial after Sam Levinson explained the ending. He suggested that people like Rue don't always survive, and that this felt like the honest conclusion to her story. That comment sparked a huge debate online, because many fans remembered him describing Euphoria as a deeply personal project, inspired by his own experiences with addiction. Since Sam himself overcame those struggles, people couldn't help but wonder why Rue wasn't given the same opportunity for redemption. Some viewers also pointed out that Rue had already started making progress. She had been working towards sobriety, repairing relationships, and trying to build a future for herself. That's why so many people felt blindsided by the ending. Instead of seeing her continue that journey, they watched her story come to a heartbreaking close, leaving fans questioning what message the show was trying to send. As the debate grew, fans began paying close attention to Zendaya's reaction. Surprisingly, she didn't publicly comment on the finale after it aired. For someone who has always spoken passionately about Rue and what the character means to her, that silence stood out to a lot of people. While some thought she simply wanted to let the story speak for itself, others believed her lack of comment hinted that she wasn't entirely happy with the outcome. Then another moment caught everyone's attention. Zendaya's mother posted a message online after the finale, revealing that she'd received countless messages about the episode. She admitted that the ending made her sad and brought up many emotions, but chose not to say much more. That single post only fueled speculation, with fans wondering if the family shared the same disappointment many viewers were expressing. What made all of this even more interesting was looking back at Zendaya's past interviews about Rue. Over the years, she repeatedly talked about how much she cared for the character and how important it was for audiences to see hope in her journey. She often described Rue as someone who deserved love despite her mistakes and believed redemption was possible, not only for Rue, but for people struggling with addiction in real life. In one interview, Zendaya explained that she wanted viewers to believe Rue could heal and eventually find happiness. She talked about how important it was for people facing similar struggles to know they weren't defined by their worst moments. She even connected Rue's future to Sam Levinson's own life story, pointing out that if his experiences inspired the character, then there should always be hope for her recovery. Those older interviews have resurfaced since the finale, with fans comparing Zendaya's previous comments to the ending that ultimately aired. Many people think there's a huge disconnect between the hopeful future she envisioned for Rue and the tragic conclusion audiences received. Looking back, Zendaya always seemed deeply protective of the character. She spoke about Rue almost like she was a real person, and often said she wanted the best for her. She believed that audiences could learn empathy through Rue's story and better understand the struggles of addiction and recovery. That's part of why fans are having such a hard time accepting the finale. They feel the ending conflicts with the themes the show had spent years building. At the same time, it's important to remember that much of the conversation about Zendaya's feelings is based on fan speculation. She hasn't publicly criticized the ending or confirmed any disagreements behind the scenes. However, her quiet response, combined with past interviews and her mother's comments, has certainly kept the discussion alive. One emotional moment that fans keep revisiting is HBO's video of Zendaya wrapping her final day as Rue. She thanked the cast and crew, expressed her gratitude, and reflected on the incredible journey the show had been on. Watching that clip now feels bittersweet for many viewers, especially knowing how the story eventually concluded. Another factor people can't ignore is the changing perception of Sam Levinson over the years. Following the release of The Idol, many fans felt that public opinion around him shifted dramatically. Some viewers have even speculated that creative relationships behind the scenes may have changed as well, although there's no confirmed evidence to support those theories. Still, that hasn't stopped people from wondering if those dynamics influence the direction of the final season. No matter where you stand on the finale, one thing is undeniable. Rue became one of television's most memorable characters, and Zendaya's performance connected with millions of people around the world. That's exactly why this ending has sparked such strong emotions. For many fans, Rue represented survival, second chances, and hope. Watching her story end the way it did left a lot of people heartbroken. And that's everything happening in this Euphoria drama. For now, whether you believe the finale was the right ending or think Rue deserved another chance, the conversation isn't slowing down anytime soon. With fans continuing to revisit old interviews and search for clues about what happened behind the scenes, there's a good chance we'll hear even more about this story in the future. If any new tea drops, you'll hear about it right here first. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you never miss the latest celebrity news and drama. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Did Rue get the ending she deserved, or should her story have ended differently? Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.